What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Luke Innes here. Time to talk a bit more horror. And I've wanted to do this video now for about 5 minutes. I just decided to pull the DVDs off the shelf. Basically, I'm going to be showing you my top 10 most nostalgic horror movies. It's not in any order, it's just the 10 most. Like, you know, nostalgia is kind of a difficult thing to rank. So, like I say, just 10 most nostalgic horror movies. I'd love to see other people do this. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first to do it, but if you see this video and like the idea, I'd love to see what other people think, because this is a nice opportunity to share memories, I think. And that's what I like about the idea. So without further ado, let's get on with my top 10 most nostalgic horror movies. Okay guys, so as you can see, my first most nostalgic horror movie is Jaws. I've kind of put these in order from when the experience that I associate the films with happened. So Jaws is at the top. Jaws, I first saw this movie when I was 5 or 6 maybe, and I only saw the first 20 minutes, half an hour or so. I mean, I haven't seen it in ages, but I saw up to when the kid on the Lilo gets attacked by the shark, the second attack. And I mean, this movie frightened the shit out of me, dude. I was staying at my grandparents' house. My mum and dad had gone out for the night, so me and my brother were being babysat by my grandparents. Like I say, I can't have been more than about 6 years old. And Jaws was on TV. And yeah, I remember being afraid to even move. Like, it was like one of the most petrifying experiences of my fucking life, dude. So then after that, the next time I got to see it, I taped it off of TV when I was sort of 9 or 10. And the recording didn't have it cut off the last sort of 5 minutes of the kind of movie. It must have been running late on the TV schedule or something. I got up to the point where it's just Richard Dreyfuss on the wreckage. So I didn't get to see the end of the movie until I got it on DVD a few years later. So yeah, I mean, Jaws is a fine movie, I've got to say. So yeah, that's my first nostalgic film. Moving on a few years, or maybe not even that long, maybe a year or so, to Hellraiser. Now Hellraiser, this is a weird one. I first saw this movie only 5 or so years ago, but I remember I grew up like a minute's walk from my town's Blockbuster Video. So me and my parents went up there quite often. They'd take me up there on choose a video or whatever. And I remember once we were walking around the shop and I saw this cover, and I mean, it fucking blew me away. I was maybe 6 or 7. As I say, I didn't see the film for a very long time after that, but like I say, as I look at it now, it takes me right back to that moment and seeing that cover, and thinking, man, I bet that's a cool movie, but not being old enough to watch it. So yeah, that's Hellraiser. We'll move on to the next one, which is Gremlins. Now, this is the moment I realised I was into horror. I think maybe 9 or 10 now we're talking. And yeah, this movie, again, this is another one that I taped off TV, I seem to recall, because my dad said it was good. And I watched Gremlins. And dude, this movie is pretty incredible, dude. I haven't seen it in years and years, but I mean, it's like a family movie and a horror movie and a black comedy all mixed together in one, and it's just brilliant, dude. So yeah, Gremlins, kind of for being the moment that I realised I loved horror, that's got to be in there. Right, so the fourth movie, The Exorcist. What happened with this one? My granddad was given a box full of old videos when a friend was moving house, I think. and I was looking through them, and I found it was actually this same edition. This is the 25th anniversary edition. It was the same edition but on video. So I thought, man, cool, I'll check this out. So I took the video home with me, and watched it that evening, dude. And I've got to say, I don't think at that age I'd ever been so compelled by a movie. We're talking about 11 here, I'd say. Yeah, this movie totally compelled me. It was scary, it was fun, it was, really great story. I love The Exorcist, and yeah, this is another one of those early horror movies that I saw that really motivated me to get into the genre majorly. So yeah, The Exorcist, that's the fourth one. The fifth one, Hostel. So this is about 12, 13, I'd say, and the next few are all very close together. I had a group of friends at school who we were all really into horror, and there was one particular friend, and it just so happened he lived the closest to school, but his brother was really into horror, so he had around his house there was a ton of horror DVDs, and we used to go around there to watch things after school while his parents were out. And one of the first movies I remember seeing was Hostel. And yeah, it fucking knocked my socks off. This movie is, like I say, I was about 12 or 13. So, this movie is pure fucking, sex and violence. I don't know if you can see it along the top. The goriest, sickest, bloodiest movie you'll ever see, the Daily Mirror. Yeah, right. To be fair, though, I probably thought that at the time, looking back on it, because, like I say, this movie petrified me. I'd never seen such gore. Like I say, this movie's definitely waned over time for me, but at the time this was so terrifying to me that I just thought, I'm never ever staying in a hostel. No way. Couldn't do it. But yeah, no, this is a hugely nostalgic movie for me. That's my number 5 most nostalgic horror movie. Number 6, Teeth. Now this would have been around the same time. And this was really the movie that made me sort of understand a little bit better what a horror comedy was. Because this is really closer to a black comedy than a horror movie. It's a black comedy with kind of gore. And little horror elements here and there. Yeah, this movie just seemed like I remember it seemed like the most bizarre premise to me. And I think that was kind of what appealed to me about it. So, yeah, this is another one. It's similar to Hostel as well. This was definitely a big sort of revelation for me. Yeah, Teeth is actually a really, really good movie. This one tends to get a little bit lost in the echo, but people should definitely go and check this one out if they haven't seen it before. Teeth is yeah, pretty awesome actually. So that's number 6. Number 7, Dead Snow. Again, similar sort of time. Like I say, this is how I saw most of the horror movies I saw between the ages of about 12 and 17. So anywhere between that age, around the time it comes out, I guess. Dead Snow, horror zombie movie, Nazi zombie movie, little elements of horror comedy in there. Yeah, dude, this is pretty much one of my introductions to the zombie genre. I hadn't even seen 28 Days Later yet, or any of the Romero movies. That was all to come. But yeah, Dead Snow is pretty superb. And zombie is pretty much my favourite horror subgenre. So, it's no surprise that this, would get into the list. Yeah, Dead Snow, cool movie. One of the first movies I would have ever watched with subtitles, because obviously it's all Norwegian. So yeah, Dead Snow is my number 7. Yeah, 7. Number 8. So I've allowed myself a bit of a double feature here. Human Centipede first sequence and Human Centipede 2 full sequence. I remember me and my friend who I was talking about before chatting about this movie at school when it was fresh out and it had become the internet meme of horror films. And we hadn't seen it yet, and his brother had bought it, so we were going to go around and watch it, and we were chatting about it in class. And a couple of girls from our class actually said, the Human Centipede, what's that? And we were talking about, it's a horror film, you should come over. And I think they thought it was just going to be a monster movie, so they came with us to watch this movie. We thought we were in there, And yeah, it totally shocked the shit out of them. They were absolutely mortified. But yeah, no, the Human Centipede first sequence, that actually disappointed me a little bit when I saw it. It's an okay movie, but I mean, for me, the Human Centipede 2 just shits on it, man. Far better movie. Yeah, like I say, the Human Centipede 2 is bloody brilliant. I think that's a movie that, given time, people will come to appreciate how good of a movie it is, because I mean, it got savaged by a lot of people when it came out. Obviously, it was quite controversial. It got banned by the BBFC. Yeah, this was the one that really satisfied what I was looking for with the original Human Centipede, I've got to say. So yeah, that, I know, you know, it's two movies, but you know, the Human Centipede and the Human Centipede 2 go on the list. So that's number 8. Number 9, a Serbian film. I remember my friend telling me about this movie and saying that it was like the sickest fucking movie that was like imaginable, which I don't think's quite true. I mean, it's, you know, I think it's quite ridiculous in places, but I do like this movie. We managed to get, because we didn't want to watch the movie with BBFC cuts in it, we managed to get hold of a rip from online, and it was really low quality, like, you know, sub video bootleg quality. You know, it had all these like watermarks on the screen and shit. And I remember vividly the last 30 seconds or so of the movie were missing, like it just stopped dead. So it took me a few years to actually see the end of the movie, which is one of the best parts, actually. But yeah, no, a Serbian film. Again, it's memories of that sort of after school horror, sex, or, you know, whatever. But this is the last one of those. The next one moves on to only a couple of years ago, actually. So yeah, after that, the next place to go is when I was 19, I think, and I went to visit. I only did my first year at university, and I went to visit a few friends, and I took this movie with me to watch. This last one, Cannibal Holocaust. I bought this the day before, I think, and decided to take it with me to Southampton to visit all these old friends. And so before buying it, I'd only ever seen a heavily cut TV version a few years prior, which had none of the animal violence and very little of the sexual violence. Only like the bare essentials were retained. And yeah, I thought it was rad back then. And then when it came time to buy it on a whim and bring it over to these friends' house, we watched it, and I was totally not expecting all of the shit that was in it. They were absolutely fucking mortified by this movie. I experienced it firsthand, seeing, you know, just the shock and disgust this movie causes. I mean, pretty impressive for a movie that's knocking on 40. So yeah, I mean, Cannibal Holocaust, definitely one of my most nostalgic horror movies, only for something that happened a couple of years ago, but it's a fond memory of mine. So yeah, I definitely think it counts alongside all these others. Like I say, I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. It's like I say, I think this could be a lot of fun. So if you subscribe to me and you think this is a cool idea, please do have a go at doing your own top 10 most nostalgic horror movies, because I'd love to watch them. If I'm not subscribed to you and you've seen this and you've decided you want to do one, drop a comment on this video. I'll definitely check it out. So yeah, I mean, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There's a link to my podcast in the description, Ironcast, and hopefully I'll be making another video for you very soon. So yeah, peace out for now.